Now, tell me about, you guys are out and New Jack Swing Hip Hop Soul is hitting, and looking back on it now, what made that time period so special, renewing, and fresh? Because I had a previous talk with one of the members of Shy, and I was sharing with him that it was at one point in '93 that 6 or 7 of the top 10 Billboard singles were all R&B.
Man, I'm
lost for words, huh?
It's hard at that time, because I always look back at it. It's like when you say 93 was the year our album came out, and there was so much hot music coming out at that time. Just the groups. You still name it a day, and you still remember them, even though some of them ain't even performing like they was. But out of that period, you even got Ushers, Mary J. You know what I'm saying? You got them still here doing things. Aaliyah, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. God bless her soul. You just had this new thing coming out of the music, coming out of what it was. I felt like prior to that, it was kind of that electronic kind of sound. It just was, you didn't have no real artists coming out. And these ones was coming out with just hits. Mm-hmm. It was a big change. Timbaland hopped up on the scene. So you had a lot going on.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the king of New Jack Swing, Teddy Riley, still doing his thing on the production tip, and everybody's banging his door like, yo, Teddy, let me get a remix.
Yep.
So,
they was doing that.
Yeah, it was definitely a hot time, and basically looking back on it now, it's definitely special, and I believe that some of the pop groups like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC kind of looked at that time period and was like, we're going to take what groups like Boyz II Men and them are doing, and we're just going to flip it on the pop tip.
That's exactly what they did. It was money to be made doing that. Mm-hmm. It was like, well, let's see, ain't no new kids in the block to get in the way, because they had that locked for that whole time period before that. And then all of a sudden, just like you said, them pop groups came out all around the same time. Next thing you know, you got little NSYNCs, just like you said, 98 Degrees, all these different Backstreet Boys, all these kind of popping out and becoming, and they were money makers. Mm-hmm. Money, that was a brand. That's the kind of thing that they was going for. That was the money.
Right, and we all know now Lou Pearlman is right now behind bars.
Yeah.
He is behind bars, and I bet he's forming his own group now called the Bell Boys.
For how much money?
I have no idea, but he got his own group coming to you live from the Fort Worth Correctional Facility. It's the Bell Boys. Cell Block D. Entitled I Need Parole. Girl, I need parole. Man, I'm so wrong for that. Yeah, that's definitely wild. And now TQ came out in around 99 with the West Side single, right?
Was it not? Was it?
I thought it was 90. It was
a little bit earlier.
That was a little bit earlier, like 98.
Nothing but mad love, because I talked to TQ at that time. I was talking to him maybe every few months. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then West Side came out, and I was like, I had heard it. I was like, oh man, this cat, okay, I loved it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The thing I can say about TQ, a lot of people don't. TQ can write. You know what I'm saying? He could write, and that was one of the things. He was at 15, you know what I'm saying? When he came with us, he had songs at the time that he was just writing, and he would just sing these songs. He was like, man, this dude, he got skills. Mm-hmm. And he's done real well for himself, you know what I'm saying? He's blown himself up. I was over in Europe. His name is like being it's like being out here. Mm-hmm. I was like, damn, they know his music better than back home.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's the case. You're bigger in other countries than you are in your hometown. Look at Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. They had to go overseas first before coming back to America.
That's, you know what I'm saying, that's one of the situations. But you can make cheese.
Yeah, as long as you make that paper, I'll go to Zumunda or something like that. Just show me the money. Show me the money. That's all I got to say about that. Now, do you still keep in touch with the other guys from Coming of Age?
Actually, TQ I talked to maybe a year ago. It's about the last time I talked to him. My brother's down in Atlanta. He's got his own thing going on. He's hanging around at Patchwork Records and stuff, and TQ's been down there, Cash Money. They record over there. And so, I holler at him when he's over there. My brother's like, hollering at him. Mm-hmm. But, the other guys I haven't really spoken to. Unfortunately, once things kind of went their way, I went back to school. I was like, well, back to the college I go. Mm-hmm. I got to go. So I ended up getting married and having a couple of my own.
Right.
You know, and, you know, everybody kind of just went different ways. I know Mark was, right, last time I talked to Mark, he was actually writing on Pink's first album, and I'm sure he's doing more now. But with most of the other guys, I haven't spoken to in a while. T, I can tell you, is in Hawaii. T was the guy we was talking about back in the day. It was like, oh, he looked like Christopher Williams. Like, he's Samoan.
Oh, yeah.